Hey the YouTube, this is Gun 73 making another episode of Knife Talk. And this is one that when I did the original run of Knife Talk, that this wasn't even an idea in my head, but it's one of those things where, it popped in my head and I'm not the only one who's experienced this, let's just say. And it'll be, you have a whole, evoked set, if you will, of ideas about anything, but then that can change when you meet people behind them. And basically this video will just be me dealing with how I've met knife makers and how I had an opinion of their knives and how that changed or was, how it was altered after meeting them. So I have a few here, and there's one that I will have eventually at some point. And I guess I'll start with this phantom knife here. This is where a Strider would be. If you had asked me a month ago, hey Matt, will you ever have a Strider? I'd say probably not, because I didn't really like them, to be honest. I'll say that. And it's a lot of, it's not the knives themselves, it was the people behind the knives, And at Blade, I met Dwayne Dwyer, and I had seen him at other knife shows, but me and Jay Davis and Duval Drummer here on YouTube, literally we talked with him for like an hour, and he was just, it really just changed my entire opinion of Strider. And after that conversation, I could see myself owning one, just because he seemed like a real, just genuine guy, and he's really passionate about knives. Really, really passionate about knives. It's like, that's cool, man. I could see myself owning one of those. I said to myself. I didn't say it to him. Hey, I didn't like you before this conversation, but now I think you're an alright guy. I guess the thing is you get it's one of those like group think things. It's like, oh, well, everyone thinks this way, so that must be true. Then you meet the guy, and it's different. And then we'll just go this way with the knives. With Les George. I met Les George for the first time at the Plaza Cutlery Custom Knife Show out here in California, in Anaheim. And, you hear of makers. Oh yeah, Les George, I've heard of him. That's how it was. And someone had asked me to do a video on his table, and so I'm just looking at his stuff, nice stuff, And then, thing that struck me is just how nice he was. I'm like, hey, do you mind if I do a video on your table? He's like, oh man, that'd be great, I really appreciate that, thanks a lot. So I do that, and then his logo shirt, looked really cool, so I bought one. I didn't even buy the knife, I just buy like a $20 shirt. He's like, he shakes my hand, he's like, thank you so much, it means so much to me that you did that, that you're supporting me and as a maker. And it just made me feel good when I left this table, It was just like, wow, this guy really, appreciates the people who, buy his stuff. And then, when the opportunity came to buy one of these knives, it was like, no brainer, man, that guy is solid. Because, the knives can be great, but if the maker behind the knives is kind of, not 100%, things could get, hairy down the line. And then, Ray Lacanico. I met him at the Pasadena, California Custom Knife Show in 2011, I think it was. No, 2012. Last year. And, just a really great guy, really down to earth, real humble guy, it's like, wow, your stuff is really great, man. It's like, oh, well, it's not like he's, tooting his own horn and sitting high on his laurels or anything, and I do a video on his stuff, he's like, wow, really, me, he's like, wow, thanks a lot, I don't even know, that video might have, a few hundred views, it's nothing big. But, afterwards I was, like, jokingly, hey, would you make me a knife? And he's like, wow, sure, I'd do that, you helped me out with the video. I was like, dude, that was nothing, but okay. So, I actually got an order. I got to make an order out of that. He doesn't usually take orders, so that was cool. And then, everyone, the Chris Reeve stuff. Yeah, a lot of negative stuff out there about Chris Reeve. It's funny, because, you talk with people and you were there to see stuff go down. It's just like, holy shit, that's really the only thing that can go through your head. My experience with Chris Reeve personally, it's been kind of funny, because it was at the 2011 California custom knife show. Me and Zippo This Knife That from YouTube, Nathan. You know, we were, we meet up there at the show, and it's like, hey, let's go see Chris Reeve, because we both like Chris Reeve knives. So we go over there, we're like, oh my god, I'm gonna meet Chris Reeve, cameras out and everything, and take pictures. Like, oh, and then Chris Reeve, I'm gonna try and get the accent right. Oh, look at here, Forum Boys. And it was like, oh, okay, like, do you mind if we take a video? He's like, yeah, I don't care. It's just like, oh, okay, it just felt he was kind of cold to us, I guess you could say. But whatever. So we do that, we take doing the video, and then it's all over, and then, Nathan's like, hey, maybe we could ask you to get a picture with him, And so we asked that, and then the look on his face was just sort of blank, because he was talking with someone else, and this other guy came up, he's like, hold on a minute, give me a second, I have to take a picture with these two here. So it takes a picture with me, and he's not smiling, And then the picture with Nathan, he's not even looking at the camera, he's looking away at somebody else. So it's like, wow, dude, we only bought your knives, But it's just one of those things where my personal experience, coupled with things I've seen firsthand, I like the knives. I like the Sebenzas I have. I know that some people have sold their Sebenzas based off of what he's done, but these mean a lot to me, They have a lot of sentimental value, and I like them. So I'm not going to be getting rid of them or anything, but I probably won't be adding any Chris Reeves to my collection going forward. That's a completely personal opinion, decision thing, and I'm sure that other people have had different opinions with Chris Reeve. I'm sure he's a great guy in real life. Maybe just the knife shows. I don't think he likes to go to them, personally, but if, it's one of those things where it's like, I'm just some guy, and he's Chris Reeve, and that's how he looks at things. So it's whatever, I'm not going to say too much about it. The knives themselves are great, so, if someone were to say to me, dude, should I get a Sebenza? I'd say, yeah, go for it, man, they're great knives. There's nothing that can really replace a Sebenza. It's its own unique niche thing. So take that as you will, everyone. If, it's one of those things where it's like, if you think a certain way about a knife, if you've never handled it, meet the people behind it, and it very well could change your opinion for better or for worse. Like I was saying earlier, look at me and Strider knives, I didn't think before Blade Show that I'd own one, but now, I could easily see myself owning one after that, which, most people who've known me a while be like, what? But yeah, that's how I feel. So, comments below if you'd like, if you're like, no, man, they're stupid, whatever, I just don't want anyone just, put this on the forums or anything, because, it'll get taken out of context or whatever. And, yeah. So, thanks for watching. Comments, opinions below. And I'll see you guys next video. Bye.